How long have you guys been around? You guys been around for a while, right?
Power Block 93.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know it's been that
About
long.
as long as Kitty's been around.
Yep, pretty much as long as I've been alive.
Oh
No,
my God,
come on, Jay.
Oh man, I feel super old now.
Gosh.
Welcome to the More Than Just Dumbbells podcast. My name's Jason Lindsay.
My name is Kitty Truex. Welcome back.
So, Kitty, if I say Pablo, honey, come to Florida, you don't know what that means?
No, I have no idea.
So, are you familiar with the Jerky Boys?
No.
You're not.
I'm not. No.
Dan?
I am not. No.
Jesus.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. So, prank callers in the 90s, these two guys, the
Okay.
Jerky Boys.
Really? Okay.
Now, you think about this. You can't really do it anymore because of the way the phone, everybody's
Sure.
got their phones and
Yep.
cell phones, and you just
Spam, right?
nobody answers the phone anyway.
Right.
But back in the
Yes.
day, before caller ID, like you'd call a restaurant as an example.
Okay.
They'd call people at home, and they would just prank and record them all, and then the funny ones they put on a tape. They actually
Crank
made
Yankers.
they actually made a movie, by the way. First of all, they made millions of dollars doing this.
Okay.
On these, and there was cassette tapes we bought.
My.
And then they got so popular because of these tapes and probably CDs as well that they made a movie. I'm going to say in like 97, 8, 9. We could look it up. The Jerky Boys.
Really? All right.
Well, one of their bits was, and I forget all the premise, but he Pablo, he's calling an actual person.
Okay.
And the person stayed on the line, and he's like, Pablo, come to Florida, and he's and it's just this voice, and a few years later. And I've never asked you if you like this band, Fake Plastic Tree band, Radiohead.
Okay.
Are you a Radiohead fan?
Not a lot. No, not really.
Well, they named
Not
one of their albums Pablo Honey,
Honey.
and
Okay.
so I'm listening to the album years later, and I'm like, why did they? And
you
I
processed it and
sure
figured it
enough
out by
looked it up,
myself?
and they named it because of that
All by
that
yourself.
bit. I know I'm a sleuth. No, but anyway, that was But you're familiar with Radiohead, aren't you, Dan?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pablo
Oh, yeah.
Honey.
Oh yeah.
That's
So
for you guys.
if you
Pablo
when you
Honey.
listen to this podcast when it's out in the ethers for everybody to consume, as they say, in the future, then you'll
remember that.
You'll go to the YouTube and go Jerky Boys Pablo Honey, and then it'll all ring
and
true.
I'll go to Florida.
Yeah. Speaking of Florida, our guest isn't from Florida, but he's
No.
from a pretty warm,
California,
like this time of year, we're just
here.
happy to. Aren't you just happy to talk to anybody who's not from the
I
frozen?
seriously have the question like, tell us what it's like in paradise
Yeah.
right now.
Well, and they seem to.
Seriously.
He's not the. Not long ago, we had a Hawaiian on. This guy, Rulk,
Fabian,
D-A
yeah.
space R-U-L-K. He
Yes,
goes by Rulk. We'll ask him about how that came about.
I'm interested.
But he lives in Hawaii.
to
And
my
he's
knowledge,
probably neighbors with Fabian,
Fabian.
sorry. Patrina.
That was a great episode, by the way.
Yeah.
Go check that one out if you haven't.
Yeah, that
yet.
one's available on
Powerblock.com.
YouTube and
Yeah, it is.
and the such.
Dan with the YouTube. Boom, shakalaka. Speaking of, we've got a new studio. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan rocked us with this new studio here. Looking forward to
It's pretty cool because we don't have nobody.
the magic to be
Nobody's
made.
walking by. We're up on the second
It
floor.
is nice.
It's cozy. It's in the wintertime. It's a nice warm sanctuary.
There it is.
We'll fix the summer problems,
space.
but it's all good. I like it. I think it was a smart move.
I
Decision that I had nothing to do with. I don't know that you did either.
It's 'cause it was
Dan,
smart.
was this you or was this the powers that be? The powers that be at Powerblock, which is a company that you may or may not have heard of. You should have heard of.
I hope so. You've heard of
And what
the world's best adjustable dumbbell.
you can go buy this stuff in the stores. They sell
Yes,
them like
they
the
do.
Dick's Sporting Goods.
You
is
can find it online.
but
Powerblock.com.
well,
You
that's
can
my
find where
segue. Is like you
Oh.
can do that, but if you don't want to leave the house because nobody does anymore, and not just because of the pandemic, but just because people are now. You don't even have to order. I mean, you just order food. Things come to you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, here's the deal. Probably because these things weigh. Our dumbbells. That's the whole thing. It's strength training.
Yes.
I don't know that you'll see a drone bring a power block, but you're certainly going to see in the next few years a drone bring a Whopper to somebody. It's going to happen.
You think so?
I'm sure
You're
it's already.
calling it?
Well, I'm sure it's already happened in Dubai, right? It's somewhere
Whopper
they're doing
drones.
this. Somebody's ate a Whopper from a drone, right?
Wow. All right. Well,
All right. Anyway, so Rulk, what are you
Rulk.
excited? What are you excited about? for
I'm
him?
really excited about hearing. Actually, he created his own fitness program. He works
Wow.
a lot with functional movement,
Yeah.
flexibility, strength and conditioning of doing better what you do already every day.
And you're right. And we were talking about it. I'm excited because it's functional kind of stuff, right?
Yes.
And he's a crawler. I mean,
yes.
Yeah. His one of his things is crawling.
Yes.
And have we ever
crunning?
Have we ever had anybody do that does that?
Not to my knowledge.
No.
But we have had on our list of benefit or bullshit crunning. So I actually want to kind of ask him, do you feel like that is
we haven't done it.
We haven't done it yet, but I want to start.
And what is crunning?
Crunning is crawl running.
Oh.
Yeah, like bear running or gorilla running or whatever you want to call it. But he says that it's actually an extremely important functional movement that we should all learn to become more effective at.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So he works a lot with Navy SEALs, law enforcement, firefighters. He helps the real heroes be heroes, as well as Chris Hemsworth, so superhero style. But he is a master trainer for the Chris Hemsworth subscription service.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
fitness.
Oh, wow. So a lot of questions for him,
Yeah.
related to why he does what he does and how,
how to get into it.
how you get into it
Absolutely.
and why you should be crunning or crawling or bear walking or whatever.
All the things.
I think this is, I
Full
like
body, no equipment needed. Strength and
Well,
conditioning.
and isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So you get a guy, stay tuned, don't go anywhere. We're going to get a guy that's going to tell you how to get fit without having even to buy power blocks, which,
well, he does have power blocks,
well,
though.
of course he does, because everybody should.
Agreed.
It's going to
Let's
be.
get him on.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll be right back with Rulk.
You're listening to the More Than Just Dumbbells podcast, powered by PowerBlock. After the show, you should check out PowerBlock.com, and you'll find a wide array of adjustable dumbbells and accessories. Along with an insightful blog, trendy apparel, high-quality workout and exercise videos, PowerBlock has everything you need to get your body and mind ready for spring. And now, back to the show.
Kitty, we're back. We've got him. We've got the man, the myth, the legend. Probably the coolest name that we've ever had. And it's probably even got a story. It's one of those names that's so unusual and cool that it's got to have a story.
It's got to.
He goes by Rulk. Did I say that right? D-A.
Yeah, you did, brother. You did.
R-U-L-K. How you doing today?
Good, brother. How you doing?
Living the dream, man.
Nice to meet you, brother.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Now, we're living the dream here in Minnesota.
Oh, you're in Minnesota
at a balmy 30, but we're kind of
33.
Wow.
Balmy 33.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was 42, but it'll be 0 here pretty soon.
It's a little chilly, 77 here in Cali.
Oh,
SoCal, it's so chilly, 77 today.
So you're in California. I thought I was wondering if it was Hawaii. Is there a Hawaii connection here?
I spent a lot of time growing up in Hawaii, and a lot of my friends and family are still there. But yeah, I definitely have my hearts in Hawaii, and yeah, I mean, that's kind of aloha spirit's what I'm all about, right? Sure. Just good energy, positive energy. And yeah, that's what I'm all about.
Are you in LA or where are you at?
SoCal, Orange County in SoCal. So yeah, I love it here. LA's a little congested for me. Orange County's a little more opened up. So it's a little more.
So pretty much what I'm hearing is that you've always lived in paradise.
Pretty much, dude. Yeah. Pretty much, dude. I don't want to brag, but it's been fortunate. We've been weather-wise. I just don't do well in cold. I can go in cold for a little while, but yeah, when I've gone to Cincinnati or when I got to out there, man, I don't know how you guys do it. You have much respect, mad respect.
Humble. That's why I'm just humble, brother.
No, we're just nuts.
That's crazy.
We're not normal. We need help.
We ask ourselves that too. So you have a background in what seems to be kinesiology and biomechanics. Mm-hmm. Yes. Do you want to tell us a little bit?
That's
about
why. I mean,
into it?
Yeah, my whole thing. I mean, my background is in kines and my focus is biomechanics. I was always fascinated with the way the body moves and the way it operates. But I kind of took it to another level when I started really focusing on first responders. I started looking at the time when I first started in the field. Of course, I worked with athletes and professional athletes, collegiate athletes, et cetera. But I was really fascinated with the first responder community, law enforcement. My dad was a police officer, and so I grew up around police officers, firemen, et cetera. And I would see guys that were just weapons, and I just didn't understand when they would go on the job. They said, I just can't perform, right? They were huge or jacked or in great shape, but they just weren't able to perform. So I started to look into kind of how movement and sequencing of movements directly correlate to managing the adrenal system and organizing the nervous system. So I got really fascinated with that aspect. And that's kind of how it led into my whole obsession with functional training and that side of it. I think now people talk about functional training a lot, and they do a lot of things like, battle ropes and tire flips, et cetera, which are great. They're unconventional, which I would say modalities. and I use them too. They're great. But I really think functional training is the ability to have your body operating at the optimal level, right? For highest level of efficiency. And so in order to do that, you really have to focus on cognition and managing all those energy systems so that your body can perform at the level that it wants to.
Energy. You're talking my language, brother.
So,
energy.
So Rulk, if somebody asks you, at a cocktail party or the coffee shop, what you do for a living, what's your response?
I mean, pretty much. I mean, people said I train first responders. It's pretty much my thing. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that, that'll say, I train celebrities, because I work with, all the Avenger guys, Chris and et cetera. But I think my passion has always been with the first responder community, right? With fire, police, and spec op guys, and military, ocean safety, all those guys. Because I really feel like they're elite athletes that have been underserviced and underfocused on for so long. Athletes always focus on, winning or losing a game. But first responders, like life and death, right? It's a life and death every single time. So, yeah, exactly, right. To keep them safe. And so I just found it insane that there was no one really focusing on trying to help them be the best at what they do, right? And when I first came into training, it was all about more aesthetics. There wasn't really even, it was like there wasn't really anything related to being functional. It was just how you look, right? If you look great, that means you're in shape. And then people started to realize that there wasn't a direct correlation to that. And so then we started focusing on how do we get people to that next level? And that's kind of what I've been fascinated and continue to be, right? So there's aspects of, prehab, rehab, and recovery and prep and all those different things. But lately I've been really focused on cognition and ability to, increase the speed of your processing of information, because that's really the split seconds or what matter for everybody. So,
wow.
So not only with the body from a kinesiology functional standpoint, but you work with them on the brain from
mind body.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at it from, and this is what I've always said, I think strength and conditioning is extremely important. But I feel like if you were writing a book, it's like the third chapter of the book. The first chapter is sensory processing. It's like when you go into an environment, it's all five senses are taking in information and processing it. Your near and far senses, your vestibular system, your perceptive system are all like regulating you. And with that, it just directly correlates to your adrenal system and managing it and organizing your nervous system. And then chapter 2 is probably your motor planning, which is all the skill-based stuff that you're doing. So if you're doing a job that requires performance and it's not aesthetic-based, whether you're an athlete or whether you're a first responder, there's skills that you practice time and time again. And then and only then in chapter 3 is when you utilize your strength conditioning that you've built up to execute on those tasks, right? So I think everyone loves to focus on the third chapter. I think it's fascinating, right? It's great. It looks good, makes you feel good. But people are starting to realize that when you go in, it's like, I think the best way to explain it too is if you have an athlete that in practice, he's amazing, right? And we've all seen this. And then you go in the game, and you just can't perform in the game. You're just like, maybe it's a psychologist he needs. And sometimes it is, but a lot of times it's just, they have not been training their sensory processing, right? So they get overloaded. Their adrenal system overloaded. And so it's fascinating. And so for me, a lot of my foundational training curriculum is all body weight based. And I do that for a variety of different reasons. One of the reasons being that, I believe that if you can't move properly without load, there's no need to add load to the equation. And secondarily is that I try to take away all of the barriers of training, right? People are like, I don't have the time, I don't have the equipment, et cetera. And that's why the foundational stuff space. But that's another reason why I love what you guys have with the power blocks. And I use it is it's just so functional. It takes up a small footprint. It's very versatile. And that's the whole thing. And at the end of the day, you need to make sure that it's accessible. If equipment and training is not accessible, you just don't do it. So.
Well, thanks. We dig you too, man.
Yeah. No worries.
So let's talk about, because we are limited on time and there's so many questions I have for you, but we can get you back another time. Let's talk about crawling. What because Kitty and I, before maybe in the intro to this podcast, we were so excited about this because I don't think we've had anybody on we've had some people on that have some, new age type stuff, but, and I don't mean to insult it by calling it new age. What the hell is crawling? Well, and why is it important?
What I understand
should I be doing this?
I think crawling is a foundational movement pattern, right? If you take a baby, you have to teach people to run you have to teach people to walk, but you don't have to teach people how to crawl. And it's just the way that our bodies are developed in the sense of, sorry, my little dude's running around, building our core strength, building our core strength, and shoulder stability, hip mobility. It's just a great movement, and we all can do it. The reason I like it too is a lot of people can't do specific things because bad back or bad hips, or they're worried about hurting themselves from a muscular standpoint. Crawling, you can crawl slowly. It doesn't matter. It's not about the speed of it. It's more about the form, the technique. And there's a variety of different things that, your nervous system gets activated. There's different things reasonings why. And for me, a lot of times, because I'm so focused on mental strength and those type of things, that's why, I used to crawl all the time. It was something you could just do. You don't have to think about it. You just start crawling and it activates so many different things. But mentally, for me anyways, it was something where, the farthest crawl I ever did was did a 5K crawl, right? So we did, we almost did the 10K, but I think we did the 5K. 10K was pretty rough. But
I'm sorry, you crawled 3 miles?
Yeah, and we've done it. My trainers, my level 2 trainers, all have to do a 2-mile bear crawl. So they do a 2-mile bear crawl, and there's a variety of different things they do. But it's pretty gnarly because it's one of those things where you can do it, right? Like if you're running at a certain point, you're like, I can't run anymore.
Yeah.
You can always crawl. It's hard and it hurts, but I think pushing yourself past those barriers without putting yourself in peril from a standpoint of injuring yourself permanently or, from a cardiac perspective, et cetera, is one of the reasons why I think it's so cool. But, again, I've used crawling for the standpoint of just a standalone training modality, or I've used it as a compound modality where you lift weights and then add that in. But it's just good. We have people crawling from, little guys all the way up to people that are in their 80s, 90s. They can all crawl. So I think crawling is definitely something I would highly recommend for people.
Is there a right and or wrong way to do crawling? Right,
that's a great question. I think it's all predicated on the speed of the movement and what you're doing. If you're moving in a linear fashion, if you're moving laterally, the functionality of it is all based upon speed. So if you are crawling quickly, then you open up your hips a little bit because you need more room to move and cover ground. If you are moving, very slowly, like a 50% crawl, then you want to focus on form because it's all about tension, right? And making sure that your knee levels your hip level is combined with your shoulder level is nice and flat, and you're engaging your core. So it's interesting because people just think crawling is crawling, but when you really break it down, it's almost saying like, hey, walking, jogging, running, all the same thing, right? It's not, because your gait is different. The gait is different. So when the same thing with crawling, it's a standalone. So there's a walking type of crawl, there's a jogging type of crawl, and then there's a sprinting kind of crawl. So those things are all based on, from a biomechanical standpoint, just making sure that your body is in right form.
Is there like a online place people can go to see you give crawling form? Do you have any videos of this?
I usually, it's so funny because people always tell me like, is this your stuff? Listen, man, crawling is, everybody crawls, so it's like, I crack up sometimes when I see trainers that are just like, hey, he's got my stuff. He's using my stuff, just crawling, dude, it's just a crawl. Everyone's crawling.
Chill, bro.
If you want, if you want my perspective on it, right, or like my methodology or that stuff, there's some stuff. I've done stuff in the past. I've done stuff with Chris, with Hemsworth on center. I've done stuff with different groups, and I've done a lot of that. Just explaining it. People are out there. I know it's out there. There's been a lot of my trainers that have gone through my certification curriculum that go out there and teach that same thing, which I think is awesome. I just want people to move. I wanted to create something that was not so much about, hey, how do I monetize this? I just want to show people, listen, man, you don't have money. It's, you don't have money to go to the gym. It's all right. You can still train. I don't have any equipment. It's all right. Still train. You got to just reduce the barriers, right? Start people on their journey, because that's the hardest reason why people stop traveling. They can't do things. I need something to do with my kids, because not everybody wants to be a Navy SEAL, right? A lot of people just want to move better, be able to hang out with their, their girlfriend, wife, husband, play with their kids, go out, walk. They want to be active, and I think the fitness industry kind of focuses on that top 10% of people that are just beasts. But the other 90 were like, yeah, that's not us. I just want to look better in my jeans, or I want to be able to go for a walk. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And so I think that's the segment that you need to focus on. I mean, a lot of my training curriculum has been identified because of the elite that I've trained, and I've been fortunate enough to train that community. But I love to see just average, like stay-at-home moms or average guys that are just like in accounting and like, they don't do anything. I love it, dude. It's awesome. It's awesome. So, whatever I can do to support that.
So you've got, I mean, tell the listeners how you got involved with, working with famous people.
Like you, brother. Like I'm like, dude, I'm on the show. Like I don't, it was interesting. That was never my focus. I just love to train. And I was approached by a variety of different athletes initially. So came more primarily from the first responder community, because it's kind of interesting with athletes. I started training athletes, in that community. And when you start training, of course, the professionals, then if you train the professionals, then the collegiate guys are like, well, he trains the pro, I want to go train with him. Right. Then the level, it kept trickling down. Right. And so the same thing happens with the first responder community, like the Spec Op guys, SEAL teams, Army Rangers, Marine Raiders, guys from Top Gun. Those are all those guys that use my training curriculum. They're like the all-stars for the first responder community. So of course, when that happens, the fire community is like, oh, I'm down with that. Police community is like, yeah, I'm good. Like, so it's just opening people up and to that opportunity. I think for the standpoint of, I guess celebrities or people with high visibility in the public eye, I worked with Chris. I've worked with a lot of different celebrities that they're just average people, man. For me, there's a lot of trainers out there that will focus on improving your aesthetics to help you look like a superhero, right? My job is to help you move like a superhero, which means I'm here to help you be more functionally efficient, be more dynamic and move, because you've seen guys that are just huge and they look like a superhero, but they move like a robot, or that's not gonna carry over. So but yeah, that's kind of how it started, and it just kind of caught on, and there's a lot of timing there. I started working with Chris right around the time of Infinity War and Endgame, and that you remember, if you recall, before that was where, that was just, what is it, the biggest movie of all time or whatever, so yeah, it was just good timing with that.
Awesome. There's a quote that you use that I actually would love to ask you about, or dive into a little bit more. And you actually have a podcast because of it.
Oh yeah, always can.
Can. If no can, still can.
Yeah, that's a Hawaii thing. That's a Hawaii.
What does that mean to you, brother?
It's interesting because it's a lot of people say, hey, never quit. And that's a double negative, right? Never and quit. Yeah. And they try to, never quit, never. I'm a double positive. It's always and can, right? Because I think you may not ever, how should I say, you can't control the result in a standpoint of, you can't say, I'm going to win the race. You can't even, say, I'm going to finish the race, but you can't control, I'm going to keep walking or running, or I'm going to keep moving forward. And I think that is so important for people. And I think it resonates now even more so than anything, when you're faced with adversity in your life, not even outside of just physiological challenges or adversity, but it could be mental adversity. It could be financial adversity. Any of that adversity that you're faced with, it's important to have something that you can lean on, that you just go, I can. You may not succeed, you may not finish, but you're can do it. Because I think a lot of us, don't want to even start the journey because we're too afraid of, we're not going to achieve the result we want, versus just taking the first step and just going, the first step leads into the second step leads into the third step, et cetera. So I think that's why those things are so important when you're taking it from that perspective. So that's just my thoughts.
And the Always Can podcast.
The Always Can. Okay. Yeah. It's interesting. When we first started that, we're doing that. And then I work with Kroger. So I'm fortunate enough to partner with Kroger, which is, largest grocery chain in America. They're amazing. Their president and CEOs are just great people and good friends, and they have supported me. And so, Kroger has like 500,000 plus employees. And so they were serious about their initiative to create the healthiest workforce in America and all these things. So they leaned on me to kind of help, do that. And I have, started my sup line with them, and, we have 34 SKUs.
Tell us more about that.
It was good, man. It was just interesting. I had been with them for quite a number of years, and I've supported them and helped them build. They're just a real loyal company. It was just, we did that. And then, the president of Kroger Health wanted to, partner with me to do my own line. So we did that. And right out of the gate, we continue to grow. And we have 34 SKUs. And I wanted to create a high quality product that was affordable, right, for middle America and for people who just, I think the loudest voices come from the coasts, LA, New York, Miami, but I really think the heartbeat and the needle really is inside middle America, right, where people are, and where really people, are hardworking people that just, are value conscious, that they want something that's affordable. So I didn't want to make some ridiculously priced thing. I didn't want to make something that was going to be, I wanted something safe for your kids that you could take as well. So, and we created a pretty, extensive product base of 34 SKUs is quite a number of SKUs, and we're growing too. We have some new stuff coming out, and then also we give, on a lot of our products, we give 10% of our proceeds right back to the first responder community, right? So a lot of people look at that and go, it's something that all the first responders take, who are our community leaders. It's affordable, highest quality ingredients. We're all, we have all the certifications, and we also give back. So it's a feel good of saying, hey, listen, the money I'm putting in, to give right back. But talking about the podcast is that I've done a variety of different things for their employee base to how to get them moving from the wellness perspective. But now the Always Can podcast initially was just going to go, we're going to take it public, but I think we're going to be doing that now just with Kroger and really for their employee base, because kind of speaking to them and have that voice and that interaction with them on a weekly basis. I think we're doing 52, like one a week, 52, which is crazy, but should be good. It's good. And for me, it's like anything I could do to help support and, individuals and people that have supported me.
You're reducing more barriers. Check you out.
There you go, dude. There you go.
Game.
That's awesome. And hey, speaking of the middle America and away from the coast, for people that don't know, Kroger is a grocery chain, but you're not going to find it everywhere. Like we don't. Yeah,
I think it's different. It's different. It's different names, right? So they own like King, what is it? King Super, Ralph's on the West Coast.
All right,
okay.
So that's where I was going with it. Is can we find your stuff in Minnesota?
I think so. I don't know what is I don't know what the Kroger is in Minnesota.
We got Cub Foods, Hy-Vee.
I'm not sure. I'm the worst at it. They have so many different.
Kroger's.
They're like, because when I
just want people that might hear what's Kroger.
You can go you literally can go on. I think you literally can go on Kroger.com or Vitacost too. They have the products, but it's just one of those things where, when I first heard of Kroger, I was like, largest grocery. I've never heard of Kroger, largest grocery chain in America. Till you realize, I'm like, oh, Ralph's, okay, wow. And then it's just they have so many brands, right? I mean, I think they have almost 2,800 stores nationwide. They're the biggest. Wow. So they're the big boys, right? They're 144 billion company.
Awesome.
Yeah, so they're big, but they're good peeps, and they've supported me and taken good care of me, their family. So I did the same, and definitely check out the products. You'd love it. They're good stuff. I'll try to get some stuff sent out to you guys.
So before we get to trivia,
trivia. Right on.
Speaking of food. Mm-hmm. So is this a typical day for you? Coffee, oatmeal for breakfast? Protein?
Dude, pretty much, dude. You know what I've done lately? So in the mornings, I'm a 0400 guy. I'm a 0400 guy, right? So I wake up early and I usually train, do the whole thing. Late, I just got this thing called a plunge. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's like this. It's cold water. It's like filtered. It's like a tub, cold water filtered, and I can control the temp. So I go 39 degrees. Right. So I go 39 degrees. I sit in that thing for 15 minutes, right? In 39 degree cold water.
Shrinkage.
Are you doing?
Dude, it's pretty cold, dude. The body's not too happy about what's going on. And then I go from there, and I go straight from there. I go into my infrared sauna, And then that thing is, I crank that thing up to like 170. It doesn't get to 170. It's like 160-ish.
I feel that.
But I sit in there, dude. It's game changer. So I have my coffee in there. I'm the whole jam, dude. It's awesome.
We've done an episode of
we do benefit or bullshit episodes.
Well, we've done an episode. Well, we've done one on infrared saunas, and we've done one.
I have one too. So.
We've done
one. You have one too. Come on, dude.
I have one too.
It's legit. We've
done one on cryotherapy, like the actual.
Yeah, I can't do the cryo. I can't hang with the cryo.
Well, here's my question: what is the science behind this 39-degree thing?
I think there's a variety of different things. I mean, of course, initially this is just my perspective and doing my own research, but I think when I was first doing it, there's that issue, of course, people with inflammation, right? Anti-inflammatory, which I think is relevant, but I think for me, it's just the more research is that whole activation of your mitochondria. Your mitochondria, cellular wise, your mitochondria gets firing because you're in that level. So it's like burning brown fat. It's like that whole level of kind of getting that burning. And then also you have that glucose kick, and then your body's trying to regulate. So anything for me that I do from a sensory perspective is how efficient can you get at adapting? Mm-hmm. Adaptation is the most important thing, right? How efficient can your body get at adapting to situations, adapting to movement, exercise? And from a thermal adaptation, it's really just adapting to the cold. Because, when I first started, you're like, man, you start to build a threshold, but neurologically, everything starts firing. Right. So, I guess for me, it was hard. And then I guess into the very bare bones of it, brother, it's like doing something in the morning that is going to hurt. It's good for you, but it's going to hurt, and forcing yourself to do something you don't want to do, but it's good for you. And it kind of becomes habitual. So in every aspect of your life, like, dude, all right, I can do it like that. Let me finish that set. Let me finish that. Let me put down the donut, which is super hard for me, dude. Donuts are my jam. They're like, it is like an obsession. But so it's just, I think it's just good across the board. So I mean, definitely I'm with you with that whole like the BS side of it, but I would say it's legit. I've been doing it every day for like the last 3 weeks. So I'm like, dude, this is next level.
Good for you. What's your favorite kind of donut?
Oh, dude, the closest one to my face is probably the dude.
Make a protein donut.
Dude, don't go with the only thing is I can't have gluten, so it has to be a gluten-free donut, and there's not as many of those, which is good for that because I would be at every donut shop across the country. But so there's a couple donut shops here that make these amazing gluten-free donuts for me. But it's. Bro.
You don't discriminate on the donuts, huh?
It is hard, man. It is hard. They're like, oh, dude, they're like, I'm already eating it by the time they're telling me what's on it. Right? Like,
yeah. Well, and
why don't you try this? This one we have, and I'm just like,
gas station, and they're, whether
there's just donuts. Yeah. So it's, and that's again to me, man. From the one thing that I've now gone less. Like I don't eat grains. I'm like pretty clean paleo kind of style, but I feel better. But every once in a while, I got to have my donut, especially with a coffee. Oh God.
So you're all about supporting and functionality, and you want to support your community. I know you do a lot with, your Children's Hospital of Orange County.
Yes.
Igloo. I know you do a lot of the Rulk pack or something like that with autism.
Yeah, that was stuff. Yeah. For me, so I work very closely with Children's Hospital of Orange County. It's in my community, and I sat on the advisory board. I still do for the Thompson Autism Clinic, right? So autism is something very close to my heart. And for a variety of reasons, but one of them primarily being that it's sensory processing disorder, right? It's kids and individuals that have difficulty. They're smart, they're brilliant. It's nothing wrong. It's just they have issues processing sensory information. And so that's kind of my jam anyway, right? So and I started to see that. And when I went into it, that Rulk pack that I created was in conjunction with the Thompson Autism Center and also with Chalk is, a lot of these families go into situations and to be a parent and not have the resources or the money or whatever to help your child is like, it's the worst. It's the worst feeling ever. And so there's a lot of people that get put on these waiting lists because there's a limited amount of space. So I was like, why don't we create something where we provide these packs, we send them free out to people on the waiting list, and they can work directly over Zoom. And this is pre-pandemic, right? Like, so it started where it's like, can we do it over Zoom and stuff? And they can, get, at least the parents can have something where they're helping their kids. Right. And it was just amazing. The response from that was like ridiculous. And so we got involved with that, but I just, it's all about helping people, right? And helping kids and helping whoever I can. And the more you put out, more good energy you put out, the better you feel, the better things go.
Positive on purpose.
Yep.
So how can we support you? How can we find you? If I were a listener and I was like this.
Oh my gosh, you
how do I
guys.
find you?
I'm the worst at social media. I'm not a huge social media person. So I just have Instagram, right? So everyone's like, Twitter. I'm like, dude, I don't get Twitter. I don't understand Twitter. And good Lord, I'm never going to be on TikTok. So I won't be one of those. So I don't even Facebook. I don't even get that. Facebook passed me up. I was like back in the MySpace days. And then like, there was like Facebook. So dude, I was like, I'm just IG probably just, if you search Rulk, Rulk, there's not a lot of me, not a lot of other Rulks. So you'll find me. And
the Rulk.com and it goes follow me.
Yeah, the Rulk.com. Yeah, that's
funny. That's it.
Yeah, dude, I don't see it. You look at, dude, I'm like, I swear I'm like the worst at all those around me know I'm the worst at technology. Like if I could send you guys like pigeon messages, I would still like, you'd be like, like another message. Is that a message from Rulk? What did he just say?
You're still rolling with a flip phone, aren't you?
Dude, don't even start. I had the brick. You're gonna go old school.
The Nokia brick.
Nokia brick, dude. Yeah, dude. Self-defense.
Let's play some trivia.
Dig it. Let's play some trivia. You ready, brother?
All right, dude. Let's go. Let's rock and roll.
All right. Let's get it in.
All right, guys. It's time for the Fitness Inquisition.
Oh, good Lord, dude. This just sounds
No one ever expects the Fitness Inquisition.
All right. Okay. Are there questions popping up? What's going on?
All right. Here's how it's going to work. I'm going to read off 5 fitness-related trivia questions.
Oh, good
and
Lord.
When I say fitness-related, they could be loosely related. Today, they're mostly related.
Okay.
Mostly. And as I read the question off, we're going to use your name as your buzzer. So if you know the right answer or think...
Wait, my name is my buzzer. So I say Rulk. Is that what I say?
That's perfect. All
right.
Just shout out your name, and then I'll turn the question over to you, give you the chance to get it right. If you get it right, we'll let you know.
All right.
If you're wrong, we'll embarrass you. So,
oh my God, here we
no
go.
pressure.
All right, let's do it.
Are you guys ready?
Ready.
All right. Question number 1. Extending a joint beyond its normal anatomical position is called what?
Hyperextension.
Oh, dude, what speed?
6-year-old would have got that.
Sorry.
You didn't.
You know why? Because you lectured me.
Oh, yeah.
You guys yell at me for making the questions too hard.
Over now.
So
all right, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
I'm not waiting.
Dude, right on.
All right, question number...
Jason. Just kidding.
Can I yell out other people's names? Can I just yell out like, if I don't yell out, I'm just going to yell Jason.
Yeah.
Jason for every question.
I'll get it wrong, and that's fine.
There we go. That's the whole game. See, I'm doing it. It's a reverse strategy.
I see what you're doing. Defense.
Defense.
See it.
Defense with championships, buddy. Come on.
Question number 2. Foods high in saturated fats tend to raise...
Jason.
I heard Jason.
Cholesterol levels.
Come on, Jason. You're gonna have
Oh, he got it.
Yes. That was correct.
Well played, sir. Well played.
Touche.
Well played, sir.
Yeah.
Oh,
That should be a half point each. Huh? Now I'll take the full point.
I'm your agent. I'm your Jerry Maguire of this game, dude. Let's go.
Funny.
Show me the answers. Let's go.
question number 3. All physical exercises can be grouped into 3 different types of exercise.
Kitty.
Those 3 types.
I think that was her voice. It sounded just like her. That was Kitty. Yeah, that was.
Oh,
she got punched in the stomach. She was there.
Isometric. Effenheimer. I don't know.
Jason. What would it be? Static, isometric, and I don't know. Plyometric? No.
Rulk.
Less specific.
Less specific.
Get it.
Rulk?
I forgot the question. I don't even know what we're talking about. I'm focused on donuts, dude. Can I just answer donuts to every question? That's always right.
Krispy Kreme. The answer is Krispy
donuts.
Kreme.
Yes.
The question again.
You guys asked me about it now, dude. You lost me. It's called attention deficit disorder. So all I'm now focused on is donuts. I'm gonna go ahead.
Okay.
I'm ready for donuts.
All right. The question again is all physical exercise can be grouped into 3 different types of exercise. What are those 3 types of exercise?
Oh God. Are we just the movement or exercise in general?
Just exercise in general.
Let me see.
Pretty much all physical exercise can be lumped
Like
into
cardiovascular? Is that one?
You're onto it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Aerobic, is it gonna be aerobic, anaerobic?
Are we doing aerobic, anaerobic?
That's 2.
Okay.
Oh, that's 2. Oh, that's 2. That's categorized.
Yep.
Anaerobic, aerobic. cardiovascular, and God, I don't know. What's
No.
Flexibility.
Yeah,
mobility.
would you have accepted stretching?
I would have accepted stretching, yes.
You would have accepted stretching? Oh, dude.
Dang it.
All right. Well, Rulk, you were closest on that one, so I'm going to give you the point.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, brother. Home field advantage. That's what I'm talking about. Give it to me.
Questions.
Your defense is working.
All right. we're gonna stray away from the fitness.
Oh God! All right, here we go.
Rocky Horror Picture Show questions.
In the movie, Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
What was the name of the high school?
Oh shit.
Oh God!
Nope, it is not. Oh shit.
No idea. Did
shit! High school.
Did they actually use the real high school? They probably did.
I think they
believe
did.
so.
Yeah. I don't know. Chamberlain High School. Jason.
No. Dude.
Oh, that is incorrect.
I think it's actually a name of a person. Nah, never mind.
No, it's not.
Oh my gosh, that's a hard one.
Rulk, do you have an idea?
No, was it in Alabama though? Was that where that was where?
Titans.
Sounds accurate.
The mighty Titans. What
They don't ever say that.
that? I don't know.
Is Jason Googling it? Is that what you? Are you
Google?
Googling? Can we Google? I didn't know that we could Google. Should I Google?
Sunshine.
Yeah. I won't accept your answer anyways, Jason.
All right, why not?
Do you have any guesses?
Denzel Washington.
Any guesses?
It's by the
Donut
way-
High School.
By the way, this would be nobody on Jeopardy would get this right.
No.
TC
Dude,
Williams.
we're never.
TC
We're,
Williams High School.
Yeah.
Yeah.
T.C.
Yeah.
Williams.
dude, what is it?
TC Williams High School. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I would never have got that.
As you would have
Dude,
gone
we
through all the list
are
of
never
presidents.
going on Family Feud. This is
Yeah.
never happening. We will get smoked.
I don't know who
on
TC
Okay.
Williams
Look at-
was, but he might have been like the Calhoun guy because they call it Alexandria City High School now.
Oh, so they Calhouned
changed it. They Calhouned it. All right.
Okay, so
One more. We got time.
this is the final question right here. It's a
Oh my God, here we
three-way tie.
go.
Whoever gets this one wins the money pot. So the question is,
Yep.
Robert De Niro
Heard of him.
Yep.
plays which iconic boxer
Jason.
in Raging Bull?
Jason.
Jason?
Don't hang on. Don't the guy just
He said Mike Tyson. He said Mike Tyson. He said Mike Tyson. He's
No, it's,
wrong. He said Mike Tyson. I heard it. He said Tyson. Get him
Rocky-
off.
No, not Rocky.
Buzzer him now. He said Tyson.
Jake,
yeah, that's it, Tyson.
Oh, he got it.
Got it. He gave me extra time on that. Jake LaMotta.
Dude, that was the
Way
longest.
past 5 seconds.
That was the
bro.
longest
Whatever.
time that
You guys
ever
didn't
got.
know
I
it.
can't believe that long.
Anyway,
Died in Bisbee, Arizona.
Jason had to win.
Dude, Jason threw out like 5 names at the same time. He's like, Rick,
Sugar Ray Leonard.
Steve John, Rick, Tom. Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Yeesh.
Hey, now
Jelly
I get to
Butterbean.
reward myself with a donut.
That's right.
Oh, dude, I didn't know we were playing for donuts. It would have been
Well,
game
you know,
time.
too
Maybe you showed up, huh?
Too bad.
Jason would have totally showed up.
Competition. Rulk, it was amazing. to
Yeah.
speak
You guys
with
are great.
What a
Thank you so much for
phenomenal
having me. You guys are
conversation.
legends. I appreciate it.
We would like to get you on again in a few months, ask you some more questions, but in the meantime, we'll send people to follow you.
DeRulk.com.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think DeRoke.com is only like you could send like for registering for just go to my IG. That's probably the only thing. That's the only thing I got.
Instagram.
Awesome.
Yeah. Just look me up there. Do my
Thank you.
thing.
Thanks for everything
Positive
that you
energy.
do. Thanks for
Dude, you're the
showing up
best. You
authentic.
guys are legends. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, brother. Have
All
an
right. See you
awesome
guys.
day.
Take care.
California,
Bye.
Orange County.
See you guys.
Whoop, whoop.
So that, there was I was going to ask him, but it would have been only really for me. Shut up. But
So,
anyway.
DeRulk.
But no, but my point about drug, I wanted to ask
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
He was, because he's from Hawaii and
Island time.
Yeah, he just
Super
seemed like,
chill.
and I love, by the way, I love the attitude. I just don't have any of it.
100%.
I wish I could get it.
Dude.
But
Dude.
yeah, well, dude,
Yeah. That was really fun
How do
conversation.
you not? I mean, any guy who calls everybody dude, it's got to be a good person.
Got to be a great person. He was a great person, and he does a lot for his community.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that conversation.
Yeah, I love DeRulk.
He was a really cool guy.
And we didn't ask him how the name came, did we?
No, but I think I covered it in the intro.
All right.
Portuguese Hulk sounds like
Yeah.
Rulk,
Yeah.
and Hawaii you say that's demand.
Now we're back. We're reversed. That's cool. I like
yeah,
that. People think we switched
cool.
sides.
We're switching.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
Maybe. No.
Maybe?
Yeah, I'll be here. Yeah.
We'll talk.
With bells
We'll
on,
talk.
as they say.
If you want to support, subscribe, share. Thank you so much for being a part of the Power Block
Good questions, Dan.
podcast awesomeness.
Dan,
yeah,
especially
great
the last
job,
one.
Dan.
And check this out. I'm going to do it just so he does it.
Do it.
The next podcast you
Do it.
see, he'll have a camera on Dan.
Yes, he will.
We'll have a camera on
you can
Dan.
meet Dan the man.
Yeah.
It's
Can,
coming.
can.
It's coming.
Get used to the Broncos hat.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason. We'll see you
Peace
next
out.
time. Powerblock.com.